Gear up for Sports Talk on the South Carolina Radio Network. It's your final word on sports all across the state. Be a part of tonight's show. Call us at 800-956-7266 or email talkback@sportstalksc.com. Now here are your hosts, Phil Kornbluth, Kevin McCrary, and Tom Hayes.
Just go back to work. Just continue to have that one game mentality. Try to be 1-0 this week and just get better, prepare, and put in the work throughout the week and practice and in the film room and go out there on Saturday and try to get the job done and get the W.
We've got a bunch of young players that are going to continue to improve, but we didn't handle the moment very well early in the game as a football team, and that was very evident. And but you give Jim and his staff and his football team credit.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Hey, Philip. It's Maurice. I think I'm one of two people in this entire world that's ever called you Philip. And
oh my gosh.
Well, I wanted to wish you a happy birthday from your wife.
Aww.
37 years.
Nobody knows I'm married.
I think we both did a good job raising each other since we've only been together about 40.
Ooh,
and yes, I'm the young wife, the one still in her 50s.
Ooh.
Anyway, I hope you have quite a deserving day, actually quite a deserving month. I do have to tell you, and I want everybody to know that you are, in fact, one of the hardest working people I've ever known, with integrity next to none. Your honesty.
When was this done?
Your loyalty to your family, to your profession, to your friends, to your colleagues is quite admirable. And I just wanted you to know that we all love you very, very much, admire you, and thank you for being the man that you are.
Aww.
Anyway, I've given it a lot of thought as to what I would get you for your birthday.
Does this ever end?
And I think I have the
This is a show.
solution. And for those who know you well, I think I'm going to get you a clock. Have a great day. Have a great night.
Happy birthday, Dad. I hope you are doing well and having a great day. As you say, you can't age over the radio, so I know you don't look a day over 59. But I hope you have a great birthday and look forward to seeing you soon. Love you.
Happy birthday, Daddy. This is your daughter, Ashley, calling to wish you a very happy birthday. I hope you have the best year. You're the best daddy in the world, and so glad we get to celebrate with you. We love you so much. This is a message from your grandson, baby Eli.
Wow. I was going to keep it a secret, too.
Nope.
My goodness. That is a complete and total surprise. Well, thank you all very much. Of course, my beautiful wife, my beautiful daughter, my beautiful grandkids are here, and that's a surprise. K-Mac, you're here. You're not beautiful.
Yes, I know.
Pro, you're here. You're beautiful.
Oh, wow.
And your application at AARP is here also.
Jarmart's here. He's not so beautiful. But thank you very much. I did not expect that. The balloons are nice, and the food's great.
Yes, the food is great.
I see you brought some of my sports memorabilia. And my wife just...
A Mark Chmura jersey.
Yes.
I don't know how I feel about that. I'm sitting right next to a Mark
What's
Chmura
sad
jersey.
is I missed none of this around the house. I walked in the office, and all this stuff is here, and I'm like, that looks familiar. I missed none of this. Well, thank you very much. Yes, I was not going to make a big deal out of it. I never make a big deal out of birthdays. Try to treat it like another day, which it had been up until about a minute ago. Now I'm sweating.
Oh, boy.
I'm perspiring. I'm red with, gosh, I don't know. The emotions are just weird. You hit 60. I was just thinking about this. In fact, I was telling my wife this. I didn't know they were here. I was talking to her on the phone. 32 of the 60 have been here at Sports Talk. So that's over half if I'm doing the math right.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah. So kind of grown up on this show. Started out in my 20s, and now we are hitting the big 6-0. Check with me in 10 years if I'm still here. And then
That's why we made a big deal about this one, Courtney. We just don't know how many more of these we're going to get to celebrate with you.
Yeah.
Well, I got more bad news for you, K-Mac. I went to my doctor the other day. He says I'm good to go for 10 more years. So,
this joke.
You know, he cleared me for another extended period. Well, thank you again, everybody. That was just incredible. That's probably the best opening we've ever put together.
That was a good one.
No question
that
about
was a
it.
good one.
Yeah. How long before you're 60, K-Mac?
Got a while.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't feel like I'm going to be able to make it this far.
Is that right?
You've been an inspiration to us all, Corn.
Thank you.
You've paved the way.
Pro's already there. Pro's already crossed that line.
Yeah, I'm 61 December 20th. And here's the funny thing about it. I was telling somebody I wasn't born yet. But when my granddad turned 60, nobody knew he had another 47 years left.
He lasted to 107. Ah, that's good. That's good. You know what? When I hit 50, to me, 50 was like freedom, because I was pretty much older than everybody I was around, even people I was covering. Up until then, you know, some of the coaches I was covering older than me, and you always kind of felt like the younger guy. Then when I hit 50, I mean, I'm older than Dabo Sweeney. Wasn't as old as Steve Spurrier or Lou Holtz. You know, they were older than I was. But most everybody else, pretty much same age or older than. Now, definitely older than everybody that we cover. In other words, I don't have to take any grief off of anybody.
You're at that
That's kind of how I look at it. I don't care what you think of what I think. I think it, and that's it. That's the way it's going to be. Wow. Okay. Let's get down to the real reason you tuned in. At least I hope so. And that is what's left of the football season. 2 weeks to go. I was at Clemson Saturday. K-Mac was down in Gainesville. Pro was on the couch watching both.
Yeah, I was watching the destruction of everybody except Alabama.
Wow.
What a weird weekend.
Yes, this really was.
Just a strange week. What a crazy
But this
week
happens
in
every
America.
college football season. You're going to have one of those weeks. And if Clemson a weekend to lose, this was probably a good one, because their loss was lost in the other losses.
Yes.
And I think it helped them kind of hang in the top 5
Top
in
4.
the polls.
Yeah.
And when the ratings come out tomorrow night, you know, they're going to be out of the top 4.
You think so? I think they're going to be in there.
You still think?
I
Still think they'll
4.
be in the top 4?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they could be as high as 3.
Here's the thing that's going to hurt them.
Michigan lost.
Yeah.
Washington lost.
But they lost on the road. They lost on the road.
Washington.
No,
was
Washington
barely-
lost at home.
Yeah, Washington's done.
I think they're
out.
cooked. Yeah. But see, Clemson lost at home to a 5-4 team. They were favored to beat by 21.
So does Louisville jump over them?
Oh yeah, I don't think
even though they won head to head.
Well,
Even though
I
Clemson
think
has
any
4
question.
wins over top 25 teams. Troy's ranked this week, by the way.
Well, you
So
got to
Clemson has
remember
4 wins over top 25
you
teams.
got to remember that the other teams still have trap games. In my opinion, if Washington wins out, they still can come in the back door, because they got Washington State coming up.
True.
And Washington State has won what? I think they said they won their 8th in a row for the first time since 1930. So the Pirate has them rolling in Pullman, Washington. So it'll be interesting down the stretch. Ohio State, I think, will sneak into the top 4 this week. I think.
Yeah. I think it'll be obviously Alabama, Ohio State, Louisville, and that 4th team will be up for grabs, you know, amongst the one-loss teams, and how the committee weighs those losses. And, you know, Clemson, you can blame the officials as Clemson Insider. ClemsonInsider.com does a heck of a job, and we report a lot of the stuff. We pass on a lot of the stuff that they write about, because Will Vandervoort in particular on that staff's an excellent reporter.
Ed McGranahan.
And Ed McGranahan, yeah, but I mean, they went, you know, their head guy, Robert
Thorne.
Is it Robert McCray Thorne or Robert Thorne McCray?
Yeah.
Robert McCray Thorne.
Yeah.
Went a little bit overboard by implying that there was bias in the officiating, pointing out that, I guess accurately, that the head official was a USC grad working in Columbia, and he was citing the number. He used the Georgia Tech game as the last time this crew worked a Clemson game and how one-sided it was. And in numbers, yes, but you go back and look. 6 of the penalties against Clemson in the Georgia Tech game were offsides or procedure penalties, not judgment calls.
Sometimes penalty is legitimate.
Yeah, it happens.
I mean,
Nobody threw that late interception.
I think, you know, people think about the Bullware call, and that was really
bad. I didn't like that.
That was really a judgment call.
That was a reputation call.
He didn't make it because he's like South Carolina.
But I don't think you do yourself any good when you start calling out the officials
Yeah,
like
look
that.
at it.
All right, we'll talk more about everything in a moment.
Happy birthday, Uncle Phil. Welcome to the Big 60. We cannot wait to celebrate with you and look forward to seeing you in the near future. Love, your cousins, Jen, Ryan, and baby Jacob.
Just want to wish a happy birthday to that legend of Lada, that purposeful prognosticator, the rascal of recruitment, the ambassador of the airwaves, Philip Kornblue. I guess I'll be seeing you at Hardee's now, getting that 15-cent cup of coffee since you're becoming a senior. Happy birthday from the Pawleys Island KB.
This is Dave Cohen at Yankee Stadium, getting set to send you back to Phil Kornblut and Sports Talk.
Oh, the hits just keep on coming. You know, I have never used my age to get a discount, however, and I will not do that.
You will.
And thanks to everybody that just called there, including my beautiful granddaughter, who's 4 years old now. No, I will not do that. Now, I've had some people, like I was at Bilo, and the girl rang me up with a senior discount.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, why is it low? She goes, like, senior discount. And I said, how old do you think I am? This was like 4 years ago. And I'm like, I'm not there yet. Take it back. But I went ahead and took it.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is I have never stepped up and said,
Yeah. But you're not going to turn it down when you get it.
I'm just not going to ask.
Yeah.
You're
not going to have to, Corey.
Thank you, K-Mac.
Happy birthday,
Thank
Corn.
you,
We
K-Mac.
love you. We love you.
See, the only reason K-Mac is happy it's a birthday for me because he thinks that's 1 year closer to the throne for him. You see,
Not
he
true.
just
I'm
waiting
happy for the food. The Mark Chmura jersey.
You like
I don't
that?
know how the Celtics banner got on my microphone.
Yeah.
I do not.
How about the
really like
autographed
that.
picture of Larry Bird?
I saw that.
You like that, huh?
That thing looks like it's
pretty old.
Seen some,
but it's still good
things.
You must have signed that when you had a good back.
Okay, we got to get to business here. 800-956-7266. Email talkback@stalksc.com and on Twitter at SportsTalkSC. Couple of quick things. Nick Claxton committed to Georgia this afternoon. We're waiting on the announcement from David Beatty, the guard up in Philadelphia. And he's announcing any minute now. He's having a gathering up at his high school. It's South Carolina, Indiana, or Georgetown and Maryland. Those are his four. So South Carolina's trying to get him. USC women opening their season right now up in Columbus, Ohio against Ohio State. So I guess Pro will keep an eye on that and give us a score.
Tough matchup there. Ohio State, number 7. Of course, the team that tried to hire Dawn Staley away from USC a few years ago.
Mm-hmm. A lot of news to tell you about. We'll get into all the news. Just a couple of quick things. Burns football coach Brian Lane announced his resignation today. Former Burns quarterback did not have a good year this year, and so he is stepping down. So that's a primo job in our state that is open after he steps down. Let's see if anything else here really big I want to throw at you. Yes, Marcus Lattimore. Now, this is interesting. He was named the new head coach today at Heathwood Hall. I wonder if he would take that Burns job. If it were to come, they probably wouldn't hire Marcus Lattimore.
I don't know. That'd be a high pressure cooker.
Yeah.
How uncomfortable would that be?
He is the alum of alums up there.
Yeah. I mean, he did a heck of a job with the JV team. They won a championship.
Sure did. And former Gamecock star receiver Alshon Jeffrey, 4-game NFL suspension with the Bears for performance-enhancing substances, violating the league's policy.
Rough year for
on
Alshon.
that. Congratulations to Newberry and North Greenville, both in the Division II playoffs beginning this week. Newberry at home, 1 o'clock to Tuskegee. Newberry, the number 2 seed in Super Region 2. North Greenville, only its second trip to the playoffs. And the Crusaders open up on the road against number 3 seed Florida Tech at 1 o'clock on Saturday.
They're playing Lionel Richie's alma mater.
Okay.
Tuskegee.
You're talking about the Wolves are?
Yeah.
Newberry. Okay. Real quick, K-Mac, your thoughts on USC down there in Gainesville?
Well, they were just, frankly, I don't know how it looked. I haven't got a chance to go back and watch it on television yet because I went back and watched the Clemson game again. But they looked to be a step slower than Florida out there. I know Florida was banged up and had a bunch of guys out, but that defense of Florida's was dominant. They controlled both lines of scrimmage. The tackling kind of reverted back for South Carolina. The worst defensive game they've had probably since Mississippi State, maybe Georgia when they couldn't stop the run. But that said, I was impressed with how they kept grinding, kept battling. They were down 20-0 midway through the fourth quarter, but they kept working. They finally punched in a touchdown. I was looking up when the last time they were shut out was. I didn't think they were going to score.
Mm-hmm.
And then they actually went down and had a chance to score again and make it a 6-point game. Now, they would have had to have a bunch of goofy stuff happen, but you have to like that. A bunch of young guys at least battling out there. Jake Bentley was hit a lot, and he stood in there, and he kept going, and I think he has really won over the team. I mentioned this on the Sports Talk at the stadium. He was the first guy out of the tunnel at halftime after that happened. He led the team back out there, and I think there's some significance in that. I really think that he is starting to take over this team. And in the fourth quarter, when he's walking off the field, Bryson Allen Williams came out there and put his hands around him and told them that we're going to fight for you. We like battling for you. He is winning over that team and is becoming the face of that team.
Well, just watching it on TV, I didn't think South Carolina, it wasn't a case where I didn't think South Carolina belonged on the field, but I agree with Muschamp. The moment got to them early because K-Mac, if you saw, they dropped a few passes they normally catch, and if they catch those passes, they're in a football game. Also, I think they let Appleby early on get too comfortable. They didn't really put any pressure on him, and once he got comfortable, he's the grad student, he sort of picked them apart.
He sure did.
And I didn't think King had a good game.
The drop, the Brian Edwards drop late in the second quarter on that. He had nobody in front of him if he catches that ball in stride. And it's a catch that he normally makes. Didn't get it. And also Hayden Hurst had a bad drop in the first half on a third down play. You got to make those plays out there.
Could have been a lot worse for the Gamecocks, though. Their punt coverage was terrible.
Yes. Their defense, their tackling was awful. They got the 3 turnovers.
Right.
They could have been blown out of the water. But again, that's battling. That's going out there and trying to make a play and get a stop. It's not the way you want to do it. But I think that has to be encouraging. They have to figure out what's going on with their offensive line. I know Bentley maybe held the ball a little long on some plays, but they're just getting crushed. And that's supposed to be a unit that you would think would be able to hold its own a little bit more. And I think they're a weakness on that offense right now.
All right. Ohio State leading USC 18-17, 24 seconds to go in the first quarter. USC shooting 26%, 5 of 19 from the floor to start things out. And not good news here. Asia Wilson already with 2 fouls in the first quarter, 3 points for her, along with 0 rebounds. Coach has 4 points and 5 rebounds.
But that's kind of good news. If you're shooting that low and you're only down by 1.
Let's see if we can squeeze in some phone calls here, get rolling on the lines as we start off with Cockett in Columbia. Hello, Cockett.
Happy birthday to you, Phil.
Thank you, sir.
I wish you had told me earlier. I would have set it up for some nice, cute strippers for you.
Well, we appreciate the thought.
Okay. I think you deserve it when you reach an awesome milestone in your life. That's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
I watched this game Saturday. I'm not gonna get a temper tantrum with this coach, even though that it's not the most impressive hire. He got 3 more years. Let me say this, and I say this to you about Steve Spurrier. Okay, Will Muschamp is a good defensive coordinator. He's probably one of the best that I've known as a good recruiter. Okay, he just don't score. He just don't score a lot of points. Now, since we hope Sean Elliott is not going to be coaching the offensive line anymore, or maybe not be a part of USC payroll anymore, we hope that he will go out and try to get his own staff on the offense.
All right, hang on. We got to hit a quick break. We'll continue with your call and more here in just a moment on Sports Talk.
Baker. I hope you have a fabulous year. I can't believe you are so old.
Happy birthday, Phil. This is Doris. Welcome to the decade of the blue hairs.
Hi, Phil. It's Penny. Happy birthday. I know you have been dreading this day for a long time. It is here, and you are looking better than ever. You're healthier than ever. You've got a beautiful family to enjoy, and life is good for you. I hope you have a great evening, a great year, and even though we're not neighbors, we'll always be friends. Love you.
Hi, Phil. This is Rachel. I was calling to wish you a happy birthday. I hear 60 is the new 30, so you have nothing to worry about. And go Bears.
Go Bears.
Who are all these sexy women?
Yeah,
calling
Penny
the
seemed
show?
very
Wow. Former neighbor.
I think she misses you.
Former neighbor. She was just by the house last night. So
former neighbor, but forever friend.
That's right. Well, thanks again. Thanks again for all of that. This is well over the top. Well, I just was going to walk in and not say a word and just I was just trying to get
We
through.
let you do that to your
midnight.
50s, but we're not going to let you do that at 60.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's a real milestone. Corn.
60
You've
is
managed not to
indeed
get yourself killed for 60 years.
I know. It's just it's a different world out there. You know, you can actually at 60, I think, Pro. I'll talk to you. I can't talk to K-Mac about this. You can kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel, and you hope it's not a train coming at you.
I'm not looking at the tunnel at all.
Tunnel vision.
I just put my head down.
I asked Steve Spurrier about turning 60.
That's
70. He
true.
looks very good. He has not aged a bit.
Yeah, but he works out like a
does.
fiend. I can't say I'm in that boat. 800-956-7266. They're going through several signings up in Philly at Imhotep High School. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Same David Williams.
Mm-hmm. Imhotep High School. There's a story behind that name. I just don't remember it. We're waiting on David Beatty's decision to be announced. That has not come yet. USC women now up 27-25, 5:51 to go in the second quarter. And leading the USC women is Kayla Davis. She's got 10 points for USC. All right, back to the phones. We're talking, of course, about this past weekend of football. Is Clemson going to rebound? Should they still be in the top 4 when the rankings come out tomorrow?
Number 4.
And where do you think South Carolina will go bowling? Get that win on Saturday. Where are you thinking? Can they do better than Shreveport?
I didn't see any projections for Shreveport today. Woohoo! I saw one for Charlotte. In
Yeah,
the
that
Milk
makes
Bowl
sense to
against
me.
Wake Forest.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact,
Absolutely.
I saw a couple for Birmingham. One in Birmingham against Houston.
Oh.
That'd be interesting.
You don't want any of that.
No.
I say Charlotte. I think that makes the most sense in terms of selling tickets. I think Gamecock fans would go in a big number to Charlotte for the day. Wake Forest would bring whatever they can bring.
Bring their 30 or 40 people.
Yeah.
But what would Charlotte do, though? Because don't you try to avoid a team whose fans could come in and just leave out, and you want fans to
And
stay?
doesn't South Carolina open in Charlotte next season? Sometimes they
NC
like
State.
to avoid having a team close and open a season. But when it's Charlotte or Atlanta and you're talking about South Carolina or Clemson, the fans will make that trip every time.
The key point is the conference picks the teams once they get the top teams over with. I got this feeling that they will waive a Western Division team and say, go over there and let your famous alumnus, Robert McNair, take care of you guys in Houston and play in the Texas Bowl.
Well, I don't know. Not crazy about that particular trip.
Yeah, that's a long trip.
I still say if you're smart, SEC, with these teams that are going in the second tier bowls, the second group bowls, and the bowls after the 6 are filled, try to put the teams as close to home as
Geography.
possible. Yeah, try to put them as close to home as possible. Don't worry about – there's no difference whether you play in Shreveport or Charlotte in terms of prestige. Okay, there really is no difference. It's just another bowl game. Keep it convenient for your people.
Are the biggest importance in this one.
Absolutely. All right, back to the phones we go. And we head next to did Cockett leave us? Cockett left us. Okay, that's just as good. Who is this? Ben in Georgetown. Hello, Ben. Welcome to Sports Talk.
Yes, sir. Happy birthday. Met you a long time ago on Front Street in Georgetown. But just happy birthday.
Yeah.
In March.
Good to hear from you. How you doing?
All right. Well, my weekend started going downhill with a Panther field goal. And then Matt Kenseth half a lap from a white flag.
Unbelievable.
And he goes home. And I was yelling so hard at that, I think I woke the neighbors up. But on the my biggest thing on the game was I think it was Gallman got it down to about the 3-yard line. I said, all right, we're going to go jumbo, second and third down. We don't get it. We're going to say, here we go. Y'all stop it. We don't get it. We kick a field goal. We got an 11-point lead.
Yep.
Here is an unbelievable stat. In fact, I tried to find out when the last time this happened at Clemson. It's not in their record books. And Tim Beret wasn't even aware. He's checking for me. Clemson had 33 first downs in the game. 2 by penalty, 31 by pass. No rushing first downs.
Yeah.
You know, it never ceases to amaze me.
I don't know if that's ever happened before.
Yeah, it never ceases to amaze me other than in the Big 12. It doesn't happen in any other conference. But you can almost look at William Gallman's stats and know that Clemson lost. For what reason? I say, wait a minute. He has under almost what I think going to the fourth quarter, wasn't he under 50 yards?
Yeah, but I mean,
they
had over 600 yards of offense. I mean, Dabo made this point last night on his conference call, and people are like, oh, the running game. He's like, well, we threw for 500 yards, guys. He's like, when Georgia Tech runs for 600 yards, people go, well, why didn't you pass? Like, you know, that's what was there. Watson was dialed in. He completed 70% of those. Mike Williams was unstoppable. If anything, they maybe should have just thrown the ball every down because I don't think
they
Pitt could have stopped. Yeah, well, I mean,
70 of their
on
95
4th and 1,
passes.
I don't mind that slant to Mike Williams again because I don't think Pitt could have stopped it.
I think on 3rd and 1, now that you can think about it, 3rd and 1, you probably should have let Watson do a rollout and put the game in his hands, run or throw with Watson. If it's incomplete, you live for the 4th down. And if it's not open, he can run. See, they gave it to Gallman. Keep in mind, too, their offensive line now is all of a sudden coming apart.
Yes.
Hyatt is hurt. Something's going on with Fru Morgan. That's a funny deal. Something Dabo keeps saying it's personal.
Well, yeah, he was hurt, and then now he's gone for a personal reason.
Right. And but when Dabo says it sounds very similar, I'm not saying it's the same thing. I'm just saying that the wording he's using is that it sounds similar to the Guillermo situation. What are you looking at?
The Beatty kid has committed to South Carolina.
Oh, okay. Very good.
Look at me, recreating news on Corn's birthday.
But you know,
I didn't want to steal your thunder.
Getting back to what you
the guy that's following here hasn't. He's at the event and he hasn't.
He must not have wanted.
He tweeted that out.
He must have had something.
I see it.
To drink.
John Whittle.
John's not there.
Getting back to
the guy that's there had tweeted it out.
Yeah, getting back to what you were talking about. They had a camera angle came back. I don't know if you watched the Clemson game again, where they tried to get as close to what Deshaun Watson was seeing. And when he threw the football, the guy that intercepted it, you didn't see him in the line of sight. It was almost like he deliberately waited out of Deshaun's line of sight. And when he dumped the ball off, then suddenly you see a blur come across the camera, and there's the interception. And then he goes right down the sideline. To tell you the truth, Corn, if you had it to do all again, if you were Mike Williams, maybe you don't tackle the Pitt guy there. Let him go all the way in for the touchdown, then get the ball back. Then you have more time. Because John Connor, a guy that big, once he gets a head of steam going like he did when he reversed field and got that touchdown, I say this is dangerous time for Clemson right then and there.
Yeah, I tell you, that Connor is a heck of a running back.
Yes.
That guy's going to be he's going to be a great pro.
Yeah, what a story, too.
Yeah.
Cancer, coming back as strong as he is.
All right, very quickly, David Beatty now has committed to and will be signing with South Carolina. Beatty is a 6'3" out of Philadelphia. And he averaged 21 points, 5.6 assists, 6 rebounds per game last year. From talking with him, he's a scorer. He has a scorer's mentality. And look, Indiana, Georgetown, Connecticut, and Maryland and South Carolina gets him. It tells you that the guy attracted the big-time basketball schools, and he opted to come not to a big-time basketball school for now. Be right back.
Hi, Philip. This is Kevin Cohen. Happy birthday. Wow, 60. My good God. Hey, guess what? You and I worked together for a lot of years. We've been good friends for even longer. And I got to tell you, you are the man. You are the guy that inspires a lot of people. I've never seen someone who is more dedicated, more hardworking. Happy birthday to you. I really appreciate it. And for once, I'm going to get the last word in. I love you, Phil. Happy birthday. Bye-bye.
Hey there, Popcorn. It's your favorite son-in-law calling to wish you a happy 60th birthday.
Phil, this is Mike Hill calling from Fort Worth, Texas. I hear you're getting old. On Monday, you're going to be 60. Woohoo! And how about those Cowboys?
Oh, Mike Hill, that guy was a good athlete back in college, a college buddy of mine. Where are you finding these people, John Mark? I mean, what'd you do? Break into my Facebook page or something and start a
program?
What the phone line?
What
it was the what the phone line?
What the phone? Well, I'm telling you, I am just shocked by all this.
Your wife coordinated
Appreciate
the
it,
whole thing. It
Is
is
she
all
really?
up to her. Yeah.
You know, she gave me a 30th birthday surprise party 30 years ago. And that was quite the surprise party. She had cheerleaders from Spring Valley High School at the party to do cheers.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm not surprised. She's very creative when it comes to this stuff. So.
Should have Mark Shimura at that party.
Well, that would have been nice. Could have used him yesterday. Boy, the Packers, we are in a bad way. We are in a very bad way. All right, 800-956-7266, Sports Talk, presented by South Carolina soybean farmers and their checkoff. Learn more at scsoybeans.org. Pork, powered by soy. Got a few more stories I need to get to here very quickly, then we'll get back to your phone calls. No kickoff time announced today for USC and Clemson. 6-day window on that by the ACC side of things since they control the game for television. And so you'll find out on Sunday when that game is going to kick off. I don't know. I was looking at the times that have been determined, and it could be anywhere, you know.
Noon, 7, 3:30.
I'm going to say 3:30.
Let's hope so. Noon's not good to go
I
up there.
hate the 6-day window.
Yeah.
I really wish they'd get rid of that. Make up your mind, especially it's the holiday weekend. People need to decide when they're coming back from their in-laws, whether they're going to go to their in-laws, but you can't do it. You got to wait till Saturday, Sunday morning.
Clemson's Mike Williams is the ACC Receiver of the Week, 15 catches for 202 yards. FCS ranking this week, Citadel holds at number 5. In fact, the top 5 the same: Sam Houston, Jacksonville State, Eastern Washington, North Dakota State. You have Charleston Southern at number 14 and Coastal Carolina at 16. And here comes Wofford. Great win for the Terriers at number 20. They're going to make the playoffs if they can finish things up on a winning fashion this coming weekend. Let's see. Told you about all that. Okay, we're good. Let's go back to the phones. We'll do recruiting in the next hour. Let's go to Jay in Columbia. Next up here on Sports Talk. Hey, Jay, how are you?
Hey, guy, happy birthday.
Thank you.
I just want to I'm going to be brief, and I'm going to tell you, I'm a Tiger fan. We deserved that loss, and I'll tell you why. Poorly coached game, I thought. You know, everybody to their own, but and Jimbo Fisher was dead on the money. Right is right and wrong's wrong. That's a cheesy call at Florida State. We should not have won that game. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So we've been lucky this year. I haven't been overly impressed. I've been a Tiger fan. I remember going to the 81 national championship games. So, we face Bama again, close the doors, and we're done. Just if we get that opportunity, which Louisville, I think, should be in the top 4. Now, a lot of my friends are mad at me for saying that, and we discussed that today on the phone and at the office. But, we're just not playing ball. We're not – I think it's bad coaching decisions, especially Saturday, just stupid. That's all I got to say.
Well, let's just lose a line from a Rolling Stone song. You don't always get what you want, but sometimes you get what you need. Maybe this shakes them up, and then they go on another run to end the season and still remain in the top 4, and then they're ready for a championship run.
When you look at the rankings coming out Tuesday, Alabama's going to be there. So Clemson's going to drop with a loss. Michigan lost. Washington lost. Ohio State will move up to 2. You got to figure Louisville's going to move up to 3. You can't move Wisconsin up. They got 2 losses. They can't jump.
Clemson is at 4.
You can't move Texas A&M up. They lost. Auburn lost.
Yes.
Penn State will move up, but they've got 2 losses. Everybody else has got 2 losses except West Virginia. How far up does West Virginia move with their 1 loss? Do they move past? Virginia Tech lost. They're going to drop down. You might be right. Clemson might be number 4.
Yeah, or I could see them being number 3.
Which would make me personally, I think it would make everybody happy for Clemson to be 4.
To play in Florida.
Yeah, no. Well, first of all, if they're 4, I mean, they're going to be in the playoffs, and then they'll play in Atlanta. You're going to play Alabama. I think the committee, they might see that and go, you know what? If Clemson can win out, keep them at 4. You get Alabama, Clemson in Atlanta, rematch of the national championship game, which would be very interesting to everybody, instead of a rematch in the national championship game, which I think you don't want. I think a rematch in a semifinal is probably better than a rematch in the national championship
Especially
game.
in Atlanta, where both fan bases will, if you open the top off that dome and stuff, twice as many
I'm talking
people in
selfishly there too, because, who wants to go back out to Arizona?
Hey, no, there's nothing wrong with it.
Well, it's great to visit. It's just, it's costly and hard to get to when you fly through Winnipeg to get the cheapest flights or wherever we went to last time. How did we get there? It was a long
you went
trip.
through Vegas.
I went through all 4 time zones in the same day. How many people have done that in 60
Outer
years?
rims of the Grand Canyon.
I almost ran off into the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
All right, back to the phones we go as we approach the top of the hour. And we go to Mike in Lancaster. Quick update from Columbus. USC 44, Ohio State 39. Davis with 15 at the half. Gray with 10 for USC. So USC with the lead by 5. All right, where are we going? I forgot. Mike.
That's what happens when you turn 50.
Hello, Mike. How are you?
Oh, doing well. How about you, sir?
We're
Happy
good.
Birthday, man.
Thank you. Thank
Happy
you.
Birthday.
Thank you.
Got a text. I sent a text earlier out to Mustang Posse. They call in the show, and Mitch for the first time out in College Station.
Yes, yes.
About a year and a half ago, you came by the coach and came by the tailgate and hung out with us for a little bit.
Yes, sir.
And listened to the show since way back in its inception. And it's been a great ride. And I just want to tell you, wish you a very happy birthday. You made the 6 mile. And congratulations, sir.
Well, thank you.
I would like to say one thing, Phil. The negativity that's being expressed on Coach Elliott. Coach Elliott has his recruiting territory that he's responsible for. And, he brought us Rico Dowdle. And he brought us a running back. He's not necessarily out there recruiting his offensive linemen, as that territory belongs to other coaches.
Well, let me step in here. That's true, but it's also he does go and visit every offensive lineman that they offer. He does go in and visit with them, even if it's not in his territory. Call on those offensive linemen.
I think with the injuries that we've had this year on the offensive line, I think that if he gets the interview at Georgia State, which is the rumor, he may be an interview for the head coaching job there, and that's awesome. If he gets it, well-being. But if not, then we'd like to. I think he needs another shot, man. He needs another shot to develop his talent, and we'll move forward from there. And once again, happy birthday! Congratulations.
I have a feeling that linemen during this late rush as we move into December, you'll be blocking for Jake Bentley. That will draw some good linemen that's still out there.
That Georgia State job, I also saw Brian McClendon's name mentioned as
Shane
well.
Beamer was mentioned.
David
Football
Reeves.
Scoop had a couple of the Clemson coordinators, the offensive coordinators, both of them.
And a blast from the past. David Reeves' name has popped up.
And Jamie Chadwell also was mentioned.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's going to be some movement, as there always is.
South Carolina connections.
Come December. And the coaching carousel about to fire up. Okay, top of the hour, recruiting. More of your phone calls, more sports talk coming up.
Live from Columbia, this is Sports Talk on the South Carolina Radio Network. Be a part of tonight's show. Call us at 800-956-7266 or email talkback@sportstalksc.com. Now, here are your hosts for Sports Talk, Phil Kornbluth, Kevin McCrary, and Tom Hayes.
CB here. Wanted to call and wish you a happy birthday, a happy big 6-0. I've known you probably about as long as anybody, I hate to say it, but about 55 years. That dates all the way back to kindergarten, okay? In Atlanta, home of champions. With all the awards you've won, Corn, we're proud of you. But I did want to tell your listening audience real quick about really the greatest sports accomplishment of your life really has nothing to do with the microphone. And so it was, you know, the shot heard round the PD. That's what we call it. You know, it was a home run that the Corn hit many, many years ago, back in 1975, in a baseball game that was played at Green C. Floyd's High School. I remember it. I was there. I still don't believe it. The Corn's version of that story is a little different than mine. Baseball teams, you know, a lot of ways. Where were they? We were about 8-8. Just trying to run the string out, get to the end of the year, get it over with. We weren't going anywhere. We were really trying to determine who was going to be in the cellar of 7AA. You know. But the truth is, it was the last inning. It was the Corn stepping in the box with a anemic 146 batting average, as I recall, weighing in at about 135 pounds, about half what he weighs today, and runner on first, last inning. I do believe that there were 2 outs. I do. And the rest of it is truly unbelievable because, you know, Corn was batting 9th in the lineup. Would have been 10th, but we didn't have but 9 players. 6 of them, when they saw Corn stepping up, they'd already started walking to the bus. And me and my teammate, Big Ed Bethea, we were already bagging up the bats because, you know, this was it. We were going back. It's over. The season's over. And about that time, we hear a crack off the bat like I've never heard before, and I look up, and that baseball is high. It is far. It is gone over the ditch. Well, back then we didn't have fences because we just didn't. But there was a ground rule meeting before the game, and if it cleared the ditch, in the air, it was a homer. And the Corn caught a fastball apparently on the sweetest of sweet spots, came out of closed his eyes, swung as hard as he could swing, hoping he'd hit something, and he hit the baseball, squared it over the ditch. He was so confused, he literally started running towards third. And Coach Wilson forearmed him on the chest, turned him around, sent him towards first. Longest home run trot I've ever seen. The Corn was grinning. He was shaking everybody's hand. He shook the second baseman's hand, stopped at shortstop and chatted with him. Umpire came over, Corn shook his hand. And so when the Corn touched home plate, history was made. So Corn, I wish you a happy birthday. You're a great, great friend. And I hope you got about 30 more in you. And I hope every one of them makes you as happy as the time when the bat met the ball and you hit that dinger, and the exhilaration you must have felt when you saw the umpire raise his hand over his head, circle the bases and saying to the Corn, touch them all. Happy birthday, Corn.
Wow. Yeah, that was my buddy CB. He wrote the history of Latta for a term paper back in high school. He wrote the history of Latta.
Well, how long
2
was
pages?
that? Like page and a half?
No, it's award-winning
Double space.
publication that you can still find in the Latta Library.
Oh,
The Latta Library.
Not the Library of Congress.
No, the Latta Library. So, well, thank you, CB. That was a great story. And all true. A little embellishment there, but the actual home run part is true.
Yeah.
Actual home. That's the only thing against CB that I've ever accomplished in sports. So he played college basketball. He was one of Erskine's all-time great players. One of Latta's all-time great players. You talk about a gym rat. This guy was a gym rat. Lived in the gym. Coach Rice gave him his own key to the gym, so he quit bothering him because he'd go at 6 in the morning and be there till 6 at night. He went to, I know I'm boring people with this, but why not? Back in the day,
Your
you know
birthday,
this pro.
Corn. It's your birthday.
You know this pro. Campbell College used to have a huge camp that John Wooden ran.
Right.
Back in the 60s, 70s. Kids from all over would go to it. John Wooden, Pete Maravich. And when CB was in 7th, 8th, 9th grade, maybe 5th, 6th, he would go to that camp. And he was singled out by John Wooden and Pete Maravich as a young basketball player and had his picture taken with Wooden and Maravich. Yeah, quite the player. But one thing, he might dominate me on the basketball court,
but
he might dominate me on the golf course,
but not on the pool table.
He might dominate me on the pool table. He will never, ever have more high school home runs than me. I had 1, he had 0.
Well,
and history will remain untouched. Actually, to give you the quick details.
Is that ball in the Latta archives too?
It landed in a rusted out car out there in the field. There's a field behind the ditch. And that's where it landed. I don't think anybody ever ran out there and got it, but it was a 2-1. I was sitting dead red on a fastball against Green Sea Floyd's ace right-hander, and he tried to sneak a 95-mile-an-hour fastball by me, and I was just sitting dead red.
Squared it up.
It's a great moment.
Barreled it up.
Thank you for that, CB. He fails to mention, if I may add one more, since we're talking about my life, like it's over.
It pretty much is.
In 1975, I hit the clinching free throws, also at Green Sea Floyd's, to win the basketball game that won the regular season.
#1 in Green Sea Floyd.
7 AA championship.
The game was already over.
I
heard the story. The game was out of reach. They had cleared the benches, and I think you got fouled maybe out of frustration. And you went there and shot a couple free throws because you guys were already in the bonus, and they were fouling and maybe try to get back in the game.
I had to go the line. Coach Rice he looked at me. He nodded his head at me. He said, "You can do it, Corn. You can do it." I went up there. I was a disciple of John Roach back in the days. I was probably the only Jewish kid that would cross himself at the line like John Roach used to do. And so I did that. Somebody's knocking at the door. And, okay. And I calmly knocked down the free throws. Recruiting coming up. Let's get back to the phones. And we have Mike in Charleston. You're with us next here on Sports Talk. How are you?
Good. Thank you. Take my word for it, Corn. When you get in your 60s, don't believe everything anybody tells you about golden years. It gets slower and more painful. But
well, thank you.
Happy birthday, Corn.
Wow.
Thank you for that. Yeah.
Sorry about the realism there. A couple things. I noticed that after the Florida game that Coach Muschamp referred to, we need more team speed. We've got to have more team speed, which was obvious during the game there. But he said you'll see that in April. What was he referring to? And my second point is, and not to be negative, I'm just going to talk facts. When Bentley's played, 3 or 4 games now, and we've all watched the team over the past several years, and college football is a business, and coaches get paid. But have we ever had one year when we all felt like the offensive line was that dominant? And how many times has Bentley been sacked since he's been quarterback? And I know sometimes he'll hold the ball maybe a little bit too long, but how many times has he been sacked? And I appreciate your time, and I hope you have many more birthdays, Corn.
Thank you, my man. Thank you. He's around 20 sacks.
A lot.
Since he took over.
And what he meant by April, spring ball. They're out recruiting, and they think they're going to have some guys that can give them a little more fast twitch on their team.
All right. Thank you very much. More calls coming up and recruiting.
Hello, this is Howard Cosell wishing you a happy birthday. I know you're turning 60, but you still got that spry step. Happy birthday, my friend. I enjoyed watching you box that one match where you lost to Don Knotts.
Hello, Philip. This is one of the silver-haired ladies. You know, the ones that are so old that are your wife's friends. Anyway, welcome to the Silver Hair Club. But you still don't earn Mahjong Mama status. You have to be a little nicer to us. Have a wonderful, wonderful birthday, you old silver-haired man.
Oh, yes. See, my wife has a group. I call them the Blue Hairs because they play Mahjong. You know Mahjong? K-Mac?
Don't.
Pro, you know
No, I'm
Mahjong.
familiar
Don't you?
with that game.
It's a game that grandmotherly type people play, in my opinion, having seen my grandmother play it back and my mother play it. And to me, I associate it with really old women. And so, and my wife's still very young and spry, but her friends not so much. And so I call them the Blue Hairs. And they take offense to that. And now they're getting even. Thank you very much. I appreciate everybody that's called in. I appreciate y'all doing this. I did not expect this. I came in fully expecting to sit down and do a regular show and not even talk about this. So I thank you nonetheless. USC women up 53-49, 4:29 to go in the third quarter. Davis in her debut, 17 points. Gray with 13 points for USC. Coates with 10. They're winning with Asia Wilson on the bench. I guess she's on the bench. 4 fouls and only 5 points and 1 rebound. Tells you about the depth of this team.
Well, Kayla Davis, of course, the daughter of the former NBA power forward Antonio Davis, the Indiana Pacers. Do you realize she has a twin brother who's at Central Florida?
Really?
Yeah.
Basketball family. Absolutely. Answer the question, which was about I did. I said he's been sacked about 20 times. How many did he go down against Florida? 5?
5, and he's hit about 500.
Yeah, through the game the other day that I covered last week, he was about 14-15. So that puts him at about 20 sacks just for him. In only how many games is he quarterback?
That's his 4th.
That's his 4th. That's an average about 5 a game.
Too many.
You're lucky you're standing up.
And does hold the ball sometimes. He's a freshman, but I still think that's negated by the fact that he's got a very good pocket presence. He does sense the pressure. He steps up. He moves the pocket when he has to. He's got to have more time. And I think the offensive line just has to play with a little more consistency. I don't know what the reason is. I asked a question after the game, and Muschamp explained that it's not just the offensive line. It's a combination of things. And against Florida, he said part of the problem was that press man coverage. There were receivers that were having a hard time getting open. Florida's defense is really, really good. That is a good-looking defense. It was cool after the game, Pro. Muschamp spent about 10 minutes shaking hands and hugging former players that he had down there that came up to him. He was just planning on saying hi, and it was just there was a line of them to see him and thank him. And there were players tweeting about it after the game, how it was good to see him and how Muschamp was telling him how proud he was of him.
Well, see, he's a player's coach, and he recruits all these guys. Just like at South Carolina, he recruits every guy that comes in. It comes through him. He knows them all. He knows their families. He knows their backgrounds. He has a very strong relationship, and that will bode well for USC down the road.
Well, another thing is when he talked about team speed, he really gets into that subject when he's talking about covering kicks. He needs guys who can get down there quick because, we've got a punter who can kick it pretty high or whatever. But when you don't have guys who get down there quick, he said something like he wants his players to be, when they catch that ball, he wants them to be at least when it's in the air coming down, at least 6 to 7 yards away from the guy. He say average they're 9 yards away.
And Callaway was killing them. I mean, he did break one. They called it back, but he almost broke about every punt.
But why would you kick it to him time and
I don't
again?
know. And Sean Kelly's not right either. I found that out last night that he's got the injury. He's not even kicking in practice.
Right. They were talking about that on the radio broadcast. But, I mean, so you don't kick it to Callaway. He's you knew going in he was a terrific return guy. You got to kick it away
Kelsey
from him.
Corals had a pretty good game on the radio broadcast.
He did pop up once. Made a tackle apparently back in the Gamecock uniform. These things happen.
Big if true.
All right, 800-956-7266 is our phone number here on Sports Talk, and we'll get back to your phone calls here in just a moment. I've got to catch up on a couple of things before we get too far down the road. We'll do recruiting, I promise you, coming up here in just a moment. I do want to remind you that you can relax on and off the field with Founders Federal Credit Union. For you Gamecock fans, they're located right in the heart of Gamecock country. Founders Russell House location is available to help you with all your financial needs. Plus, they have a cash and check accepting ATM located at ATM Row behind the Russell House. Visit relaxjoinfounders.com to see if you qualify for membership. Founders Federal Credit Union is federally insured by NCUA. All right, back to the phones we go. And it is, my good buddy Mustin in Spartanburg of Kapasi Glass fame, South Carolina's premier glass provider. Their glass is unbreakable glass. They provide us with our bulletproof glass here in the studio.
I bet you I could break it with this.
Mustin, how are you, my friend?
I am good, Phil. You lucky, you got a wife like Marissa and a son like Hayden. Otherwise, you wouldn't have that many calls today, maybe one or two.
I'm sure.
So, yeah, I'm sure they're responsible for letting everybody know what's going on, and all that. And, but I do have to tell you, Phil, when I saw you a couple of weeks ago and we were kidding about your little ponytail that you got growing on in the back, and it's actually making you look a little bit younger.
It's gone.
Yeah, he got it cut off.
It's gone.
Oh man, I'm getting mine grown now, and just to be like you and you cutting your off.
It's gone.
Oh man, that's disappointing.
I went back to the clean look.
Oh man, see, and you're losing weight. You had a ponytail going on,
That's
and
gone.
I mean, you had it all going.
The weight is reversed. All this traveling, and bad eating, the weight has gone in the other direction, I'm afraid. For now, as soon as football season's over, back on the training table.
Well, that's okay, buddy. You still look not a day over 59.
Yeah.
Just
well, I'm
really
not.
proud of
I'm
you,
not
man.
quite. In 4.5 more hours, I'll be a day over. I'll look a day over 59.
There you go. So, hey, Phil, besides all that, I mean,
Yes.
I'm sure everybody's kind of tired of listening to you turning 60.
I agree. I am tired. They're tired, I'm sure.
Yep. Yeah. Hey, let me ask y'all something. At the ball game Saturday, Steve Spurrier came out there, I think it was after the first quarter, and did his, and I'm sure they made him do it, but I'm not, 100% sure. He got a bunch of old-timers from Florida out there and just started hoo-ha, all that. And I know that's his alma mater. That's the Phil's name after him. But do you think that he was trying to get a jab back at South Carolina for anything? Or I've always loved Spurrier. I've always, even when he quit middle of the season, I know why he did it and all that. But I didn't appreciate him being out there on the field. And, it seemed like, I mean, if you were with the team for 11, 12 years that he was with South Carolina, I would have personally said to them, no, I'm not going to do this to my team because I love South Carolina. His wife loves Columbia, South Carolina. And so I don't know. I just wanted to see what y'all thought about that.
That's an excellent point to think about.
I see that. Well, a couple of things. One, with Jerry Spurrier, in the pregame, she went to the tunnel where the Gamecocks were coming out and hugged every player that came out of that tunnel that she knew.
She is something special.
Yeah, and spent a lot of time. And Spurrier, he just honored his first SEC championship team. That's what they were doing there. It wasn't about him. He got the microphone and just thanked those guys and said they set the foundation there at Florida. And everybody knew. I think South Carolina knew they kind of had him on loan when they had him, that he wasn't ever going to be a Gamecock when he walked away. He was always going to be a Florida Gator. So they got what they wanted out of him. And he is still complimentary of the Gamecocks. He wasn't decked out in all Florida orange or blue. He had kind of a neutral color shirt. I tweeted it out, a picture of it. It had some orange on the side of it, I guess, but I thought it was done about as well as you could. He was not flaunting anything in front of the Gamecocks.
Yeah. Mustin, thank you, man. Appreciate the phone call. Look forward to seeing you again soon. We'll be back. More calls. The recruiting coming up, too. Don't go away.
The only thing I can really say about you, Corn, is that you're just a winner. And I'm not just talking about the 7 different times that you've won the Carolina Sportscaster of the Year. I'm talking about the fact that every single team that you support has won more world titles than any other team. Some would say you're bandwagon, but I would just say that you're a winner. Happy birthday, Corn. You're the best.
You know, when I first heard that you were going to be a sportscaster, I realized that you had a face for radio. I love you. This is your cousin, Frank Baker, and happy birthday.
Hey, Phil. Bill Stern and Linda here. Wanted to welcome you to the 60 Club. I just turned 60 30 days ago, and hate to tell you, there's not a lot to look forward to, but wanted to wish you a happy birthday and many, many more.
Happy birthday, Phil.
Oh, my goodness. My goodness. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's see if our next guest is interested in wishing the host a happy birthday. He's got a happier occasion than I do because he just signed with South Carolina. We've got the new Gamecock shooting guard, David Beatty from Philadelphia, on the line with us here on Sports Talk. David, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, man. Congratulations. It's my birthday. That's why they're doing this to me.
Oh, man. Happy birthday.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. And congratulations to you on signing with the Gamecocks. I know it was a big time for you there at high school. And just tell us how you feel about joining the Gamecocks and becoming a part of what Frank Martin is doing.
Man, this is an amazing feeling just knowing I could be a part of something special. Frank Martin is a great guy. He playing in big things for Columbia.
When did you start to really think seriously about going to South Carolina?
When I got on and playing back home, I was just thinking like this is definitely the place for me. I was just so comfortable with the team, so comfortable with the coach, and I just felt like I belonged there.
In particular, on your official visit, what did you see from Frank? What did you hear from some of the players that really caught your attention?
The players are like, bro, we need you. Like, we really need you. You could be a top 15, top 20, NCAA team. If you come here, you are a missing piece. And the coaches was preaching the same thing, but it was just saying it like in a more humble way, saying that I should really be on campus and that is the great spot for me, and that the way they play really fits my game.
Yeah. And the fact the Gamecocks are losing their starting backcourt really across the board to graduation, and there's opportunities there. How much of that played a factor that you see a chance to step in?
That played a great factor for me because I want to come in and compete for starting minutes, or you come off 6 man. I just want to compete for minutes. I'm a competitor. That's what I do. So I just want to come in, be great within the system, and just play how Coach Frank want me to.
Talking with David Beatty, who signed with South Carolina tonight out of Philadelphia. I mean, you're a scorer, right? I mean, I know you can pass, I know you can rebound, but your game is putting the ball in the basket.
Yeah, that's what I specialize in. I get buckets.
How do you do it?
I do it in various ways. Any way you could imagine, any way you could think of, I can make it happen.
Are you a particularly good three-point shooter, or do you like to go to the basket? How would you best describe your best offensive parts?
I think I could do both very well. So I kind of just keep defenders on their toes because they never know if I'm going to pull up or if I'm going to attack the run, or even if I'm going to post you up or have a mid-range game. Throw that in there within the game. I just always throwing curveballs on my defenders.
Your list is very interesting because you picked South Carolina over some basketball powerhouses: Indiana, Georgetown, Maryland, Connecticut, and South Carolina is trying to get its basketball program to that level. So how did you weigh that decision between going to places where basketball is established and big to a place where it's trying to get there?
I'm all about starting from ground zero, or I'm all about starting from where, like, I love being an underdog. That's just me. Like, I've been counted out my whole life, so it's not new to me. I love showing people that I can win. I love showing people that my team is great and I have a great coach. I just love showing people. I just love proving people wrong and doing what people tell me I can't do, or doing what scouts or newspapers say that the team can't do. That's what I live for.
And tell us about Philadelphia basketball. I mean, we hear so much about it, the type of players that come out of Philly, type of players that come out of New York and Baltimore up and down the Eastern Corridor. What makes Philly basketball players different?
I can't really speak for anybody else, but myself, I expect so much from my teammates. Like, if they're not going hard, I will let them know, or I just go hard at all times, no matter what the occasion is. I'm just going hard. I just put it all out there, just leave it all out on the court. And I might be a rough guy on the court, but off the court, I'm a great guy. You could talk to me. Like, I'm great with kids. I'm great with fans. I'm great with people in the crowd. So that's just me.
Mm-hmm. Are you a vocal guy on the floor?
Yeah, I'm a vocal leader. I tell people where to go. Big men don't make layups. I definitely let them know that they should be making layups.
Very good. Have you signed? Have you sent the letter of intent, signed it, and faxed it into USC?
Yes,
it's done. Okay, very good.
Gamecock.
Yep. Well, listen, man. Thank you so much for joining us, and we really appreciate it. Congratulations again, and good luck to you this season.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, David Beatty. He's a Gamecock. It's official from his standpoint. Of course, it's not official till it gets to USC and, they go through all the paperwork stuff and make it official. But it will be official at some point in time.
I was just kind of looking at some of his tape earlier before the show. And it looks like he's one of those guards that really likes to go to the hole and finish through contact because he's got a kind of a thick body like Felder.
Yeah.
So
I seeing Felder for the first time last night. He does have a thick body. He's left-handed too. He was good last night. He looked good coming off the bench. He's hit 2 long outside shots and moves pretty well, passes the ball well. South Carolina is shooting the ball through their first 2 games. They are shooting the ball at a very high level. Now, they're not going to keep shooting, I think, about 55% between the 2 games so far. That can't continue, but it shows you kind of what they've got at this particular time. Here's a little Frank Martin from last night talking about Rakeem Felder, who had been suspended because of some misdemeanors against him after an issue down in 5 points that apparently has been cleared up to everybody's satisfaction. We asked Frank last night about having him back in the fold and what he brings to the team.
I treat people like if they were my kids. If somebody spoke publicly about a mistake my son made when he was 18, 19, I'd never respect that human being again. Raw Felder played because it's my decision that he has accepted everything that came his way for his mistake. And I would hope, and Ray Tanner and I have been in direct communication with that. And I'll say this, Phil, if for the last 4 years, the way I handle discipline doesn't earn me a little bit of credit when I think a guy deserves to play and doesn't need to play, then I don't need to spend a lot of time in this conversation. He's a beautiful kid, not a good kid, a beautiful kid. And by the way, hopefully they put that quote, headlines, front page.
I think in another life, Frank wants to be a newspaper sports editor.
He wants to definitely decide where things go. And I'll say this about Felder. Apparently somebody was telling me he comes from a rough spot. And I think Frank Martin, who also came from a rough spot in life, he looks at these kids and sees himself, and he realizes that if he kicks this guy to the curb, that's it for him. Okay, where does he end up? So he wants to help these guys and make them better men. And I really don't think it's lip service. I think some coaches might use it as lip service. I do think we have coaches that they mean it. I think Dabo Swinney means it when he says he wants to turn guys into good men and good citizens that are going to be something in the world. Frank Martin, too. He's another guy that I think really takes pride in trying to get these guys ready for whatever they're going to do after basketball. And that's why he defends these guys. Sometimes to fault. I mean, sometimes I cringe at some of the stuff that some of these guys have done. And I'm like, hey, Frank,
here's the key, though. Frank says he's the only guy on the court that handles the ball that never shuts up. And he likes that because he wants somebody vocal on the court.
Yeah, be kind of neat when Beatty gets there. You got the Philadelphia guy talking, the New York guy talking. It'll be interesting to watch those guys. Back in a moment.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Phil. You're with the blue-haired ladies now. Love you from Linda. Bye.
Happy birthday, Philip, from the Levinsons and the Barnetts, wishing you a very happy, big birthday.
Colin, this is Rich from Atlanta, calling to wish my buddy Phil Kornblut a happy birthday.
Best wishes for a great year from Esther and Ira Greenberg.
Happy birthday, Phil Cornbread. This is your cousin Kyle Lurie and Heather Lurie and Jordan Lurie in Atlanta. We wanted to wish you a very happy birthday.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Appreciate everybody who you guys dug up for this. Very much appreciated. Totally unexpected. Very humbling that anybody would take time out to wish this old guy a happy birthday. But you know what? It's made a great day even greater. So I really appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah. Not even K-Mac could spoil my day.
Especially for a Monday.
As much as he tried.
Day's not over yet.
As much as he tried. Already telling me about people at the age of 61 passing away. That's okay, K-Mac. Rain on my parade. All right. I got to get to recruiting, and then we're going to get to Mick, who will also be 60 here pretty soon. Mick and I are about the same age. Quickly, going to run through some very good recruiting stuff here. Of course, David Beatty signed with the Gamecocks. 6'10", Nick Claxton of Greenville Legacy Charter signed with Georgia today. Coastal Carolina signed 6'4", Tony Jackson of Fort Knox, Kentucky. Football, 2018 defensive lineman Josh Belk of Louisville was at Clemson Saturday. Another good visit for him. Been there multiple times. Has been to USC multiple times. Back at USC this coming Saturday, then back to Clemson for the Palmetto Bowl. 2018 defensive back Israel Mukamu from Berkeley, back at Clemson on Saturday. Enjoyed it. Didn't get a chance to talk to the coaches because he got there late. Said he had a fun time. Going to Wake Forest this weekend. Has also been to USC. 2018 linebacker Eric Gilliard of Jacksonville has had a Clemson offer for a while. He was in for the Pitt game, and he enjoyed it. Has several other offers, including USC, but no favorites. 2018 offensive lineman Blaine Scott of Portsmouth, Virginia, was at Clemson Saturday. Enjoyed it quite a bit. Tigers have not yet offered. Said they'll get back to him soon on that. He's also been to Penn State, Michigan State, Ohio State, Louisville, Kentucky, Illinois, and Cincinnati. 2018 linebacker Aleem McNeil of Raleigh made his first unofficial visit to Clemson for the Pitt game on Saturday. And he said the visit went great. said given an opportunity to play for them, it would be a no-brainer. Says he has a lot of work to do. He loved the atmosphere. Has not yet been offered by Clemson. He's also been to Duke. He's going to go to Virginia Tech on the 26th. 2018 defensive end, Ford Roberts of Norcross, Georgia, was at Clemson Saturday, as was 2019 receiver Xavier Nance of Belton Honeypath, and 2019 offensive lineman Cameron McCray of Fort Dorchester. Defensive end, 2018 defensive end Drew Tuzama of Knightdale, North Carolina, was at Clemson for the Syracuse game earlier in the month. He's also been to East Carolina, Virginia Tech, NC State, Duke, and North Carolina. Offers from Miami, Ole Miss, and East Carolina. Defensive end Matthew Butler of Garner, North Carolina, took an official to A&M over the weekend. He's also been officially to Penn State, Duke, and NC State. Fifth official will be to Tennessee. He is still interested in talking with South Carolina. He's been there multiple times unofficially, does not feel the need for an official visit, feels like he knows enough about USC. Did say in his mind he has a favorite, and if he had to commit today, he'd know where it would be. He's just not saying yet. He's going to wait until after that last visit to go public. Baseball. USC gets commitments from 2019 shortstop Cameron Guidry of Snellville, Georgia, and the Gamecocks also got a commitment from a 2020 player, Landon Lucas of Blythewood. He committed over the weekend. He is a right-handed pitcher on Blythewood's B team. And the Gamecocks also picked up a commitment from junior pitcher Wesley Sweat from Northwestern. 2020 class committing to the Gamecocks, pitching off the B team. All right, that is recruiting for tonight here on Sports Talk. We got to move quickly to the Mick.
Newton ready for the shotgun snap. Kansas City, middle close defense, and a heavy rush. Blitz on. Newton lobs a pass towards Olsen, intercepted. Picked off by Kansas City. The 30 near side 25 to the 20-yard line. Still running. Cutting to the left side. This could go for a touchdown to the 10-yard line. Pylon left side. And a score. Oh, man.
That's the first half highlights, Jared.
Yeah, he had to rub some salt in the wound. We welcome in the voice of the Panthers. We got to go quick. Sorry for the shortness tonight. We're just behind everything. Man, I can't believe y'all lost that game. I just cannot believe you lost that game yesterday.
That was a tough one, Corn, reminiscent of at Chicago, at Atlanta, at Buffalo, some early losses in the pre-Riverboat Run era. As a football game, the Panthers won in every way except for turnovers and on the scoreboard.
Yeah. You know, I think there's nothing good, but at least a quick turnaround, and it forces them to flush this thing and get to work on New Orleans.
You're right on it, Corn. Yeah, I love it. It's much harder for fans than it is for players. Players had the 8-hour window, and then it was back to work today. Their cars were in the parking lot early, so happily, and that's really the only good thing I think you could say about the aftermath of that defeat is that New Orleans comes in on short rest and no time to feel sorry for yourself.
What about the good things, though, that the Panthers did to build that lead going into the fourth quarter? What did you see?
Cam Newton was great early. I mean, the first three quarters, he was his old self, running the ball with a lot of authority. He even brought the dab back after an inspirational touchdown run. He was throwing the ball well, good ball geometry, lower half of his body wired together with the upper half of his body. That was a good thing. Let me see. You know, there were other – I mean, the defense stoned him, Corn. I mean, yeah. I think Kansas City only had a couple of first downs, and the Panthers had the ball for 35 minutes.
Yeah. Well, you know, the good thing about the NFC, for the most part, it's pretty bad. There's a bunch of 5-5s and 4-5s and things that you're not out of it, even with this heartbreaking loss.
Agreed. How many times have you ever heard of a team or seen a team go on a 20-play, 10-minute drive and have to punt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
That's unbelievable.
That is incredible. You think folks will be fired up Thursday night? Will they pack the place?
There's a couple seats on the bandwagon in case anybody wants to hop on.
Yeah.
But This game reminds me of old musical chairs, that exclusionary game of childhood where kids learn valuable lessons about ridicule and being made fun of. Because when the music stops on Thursday night, either the Saints or the Panthers it's going to be a very steep climb for one of those two teams.
Yeah. It's interesting you say that, Mick, because look at the way New Orleans lost on a blocked extra point that was returned the other way.
I know. This will be the Misery Agony Bowl coming up on Thursday night.
What a weird day. Hey, Mick, thank you, my brother, and enjoy your show coming up with the coach and the players around the Carolinas after us, and we'll talk to you next week.
No doubt. Y'all come see me.
You got it. All right, voice of the Panthers. Sorry to keep him short, but we're running out of time.
Well, yeah, he probably didn't want to relive too much of that game.
God, I just cannot believe they lost that game, you know.
I can't either. They were absolutely dominating that game.
I don't know what was worse to believe. Maybe we keep that tomorrow for good, bad, and ugly, but good God, I mean, you lose a game, you look like you're dominating. And then the other thing this weekend was Auburn. A whole half of football, no first downs. I mean, that was beautiful.
Need to mention this. Clemson, third-ranked soccer team in the NCAA tournament, the number 3 seed. They'll get the winner of the South Carolina Mercer game.
Palmetto Series
They're
potential.
counting on South Carolina beating Mercer. South Carolina getting into the tournament for the 22nd time, and they are going to face Mercer in the opening round. Kickoff time has not yet been set. It will be in Columbia.
South Carolina 88, Ohio State 74. Kayla Davis, first game as a Gamecock, 37 points.
Thanks again, everybody. Appreciate the great wishes. Have a great night.